joining. This is going to be our service academy night for Congressman Dean Phillips. Thank you to all the attendees that showed up, students, parents, counselors. We appreciate you guys coming. My name is Luis Gonzalez. I work for the Congressman. I am the one that will be in charge of the Service Academy nomination process this year. I know previously it was Raleigh Olson, and I had the pleasure of doing it with him for the past 3 years. So yeah, that being said, we'll have after the Congressman speaks and gives his remarks, he will only be able to join us for the beginning of this event. And then we will have every Service Academy representative here to speak on the Naval, Air Force, West Point, and Coast Guard Academy. We were not able to get a representative for the Merchant Marine Academy, but if any student or counselor or parent is interested for their for someone in their families or groups, let me know. They have provided a video and a PowerPoint, and we can also connect you with that representative outside of this event. And if you have any questions or anything in that sort, we will have a portion at the end for you guys to ask those. So that being said, I'll pass it on over to the Congressman.
Hey, thank you, Luis, and good evening, everybody. I am so grateful to spend a few minutes with all of you, to students, to families, to our outstanding Service Academy representatives, and also to my wonderful team, Luis, who is a veteran himself, to whom I'm so grateful, and Taylor as well. We're here to help you. We're here to inspire you. I know this can look like a daunting process to anybody, but our job is to be helpful and answer questions. And that's true of the Academy representatives that are with us tonight. And most of all, I want to thank you on behalf of an entire country, because the choice that you are about to make, and I hope you do, is of great consequence, of important timing, and is the most important thing that any of you can do at a time where our country really needs you. The dearth of service right now is a problem. The lack of participation, especially amongst young people in public service generally, is a challenge. And you, as the committed and the honorable and the principled and the patriots in our country, makes me so excited and so thrilled and so grateful for what you're about to do. I know you know it won't be easy, and I can tell you from a lot of personal experience and all of those representatives on the call right now, nothing that's important, nothing that's meaningful, and nothing ultimately that's successful comes easily. And that's why I want to say thank you. And as someone who now works with extraordinary people in so many facets of my professional life, now in Congress, before that in the private sector, let me assure you, when you serve your country in the capacities that you will, it opens extraordinary doors in our country, around the world, and most importantly, reminds all of us why we're so darn lucky to live in the United States of America at this time in world history. And I'll just close with the fact that we live in challenging times. We've seen what's occurring in Ukraine. We know what happened in Israel this week. And the only way that freedom will beat tyrants, the only way that democracy will beat theocracies, and the only way that democracy will beat dictators is by the service of so many of you. And that's very meaningful. We will always use diplomacy to prevent war and conflict. We will use every tool at our disposal, economic and otherwise, to do that. But we cannot do any of that without the strongest military presence in the entire world. And more importantly, the very best and brightest Americans populating those military branches. So thank you more than anything else. I can't wait to see you all in person. Please reach out to Luis and our team if you have questions. We've got a lot of information on our website. And I know the Service Academy representatives on this Zoom tonight will do the same. So God bless all of you. God bless America. And most of all, keep the faith, keep in touch, and can't wait to have the opportunity to nominate all of you or some of you to the academies here in the coming weeks and months. So be in touch, and thanks so much from an entire country.
Thank you, Congressman, for the remarks. First on, and after now, we're going to have all the service academies go. And first one up is going to be the U.S. Air Force Academy.
Thank you, Louise. Okay, I'll get started here. Come on. Okay, is it showing?
It is.
Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, so first, I am Second Lieutenant Crystal Bartow. I'm actually the admissions advisor out of California. However, in the Air Force, we are wingmen to each other, and due to a scheduling conflict, I'm helping out one of the admissions advisors out of Nebraska. So I don't have specific information about Minnesota, but I can definitely help you with all the information about the Air Force Academy. And Luis is an awesome person to be able to direct those questions about nominations to. So we'll talk about the Air Force Academy first. I'm going to start with a video.
The quality of the education at the Air Force Academy really is exceptional. Cadets will come here and get a high quality education in any range of majors. They're going to do that alongside with their military training.
The academy is in the middle of Colorado Springs, so it's a beautiful state. You can go skiing, you can go snowboarding, you can go mountain biking. There's so many different things for you to do here.
The Air Force Academy is really big on diversity and inclusion, really understanding a bunch of ethnic and diverse backgrounds and how this can contribute to a team who's working towards a higher purpose.
Every cadet is part of a squadron. That is one of your built-in communities. They're pretty tight, but there are also other clubs and opportunities, whether it's research or sports, medicine, or anything in between.
People here are very athletic. I think that's one of the very common themes. Overall, we're all different people, but that physical requirement kind of unites us all.
My friends who don't go to the academy are jealous of me because they didn't get to jump out of a plane their freshman year.
It was pretty exciting coming to the academy because it is Division I. So you compete with the best schools in the nation. And so you have that competition.
I'm here, I'm not paying any tuition, and I'm actually getting paid to be here. So I have a lot of financial freedom, both while I'm here and also after I graduate.
I was out jumping out of planes instead of worrying about what my summer job was going to be.
The Air Force Academy is really leading the nation for undergraduate space education and training. We're creating so many new things and operating in a way that's exciting that we haven't done before.
What surprised me most about the academy is that cadets are just normal college kids. It's easy to find people here that are interested in the same things as you, and it's really easy to make friends.
It's an altruistic endeavor, something that is bigger than yourself, helping protect our nation, helping protect the freedoms that we enjoy each and every day.
Before coming here, I was pretty shy and timid, and I was put into these positions where I had to lead others and speak to others, and it's helped me grow immensely as a person.
They're going to have the capability, competence, flexibility, and motivation to adapt to whatever environment and set of challenges the military or the world throws at them in the future.
Perfect. Thank you so much for watching that. So as far as all of the service academies, these are kind of the basics. Of course, it is free to attend. There's no tuition cost, no room and board costs. You do have medical and dental health coverage, both while you're a cadet as well as after you commission. I got paid to go to school, so I made about $800 to $1,000 a month. As part of being a cadet, and then I didn't have any bills, so I used a lot of that towards like my car payment, my phone bill, and then once you graduate from the Air Force Academy, you do have a guaranteed career, and I'll show you all of the career options, then also options to take a career starter loan. As far as the academic profile of a cadet, this is the average high school GPA. Of course, different schools weight different classes just based on the availability of like AP, IB, honors, classes like that. So this is the average high school GPA, but again, all academies are really going to look at who you are as a whole person, and not only what is your academic standing, but what is your fitness level, how is your character and leadership, and also what is your commitment to service and physical fitness. So here you can see SAT and ACT, it is required. And then we also do super score these. So again, sorry, I'm like from California, and so a lot of this is very optional in California. So I'm sure it's different in your state. And then like other service academies, we do have preparatory school as well as the Falcon Foundation. The prep school is on the campus. It's about 10 minutes by car from the cadet area, and it's 250 students per year. And you do get paid while you attend the prep school. It is also just an opportunity to prepare you for the academic rigor of the Air Force Academy. We also have the Falcon Foundation, and it's scholarship to one of the 5 military institutes for a 9-month to 1-year program, again, to just academically prepare you. And you don't need a nomination to attend one of these. So if, for example, you cannot obtain a nomination this year, and you're competitive, you could be directed to one of these programs, and then from here you get a nomination to go direct entry the next year. Part of the Air Force Academy is obviously a service academy, but we do have a lot of air power and leadership. We march to meals like lunch 3 times a week. That's going to be a noon meal formation. When I was a senior, I was in that position where she's wearing the blue jacket, and I got to lead the formation 3 days a week. It was a little bit difficult. Obviously, you can't tell how tall I am, but only about 5 feet tall, and so it's hard to get used to that, but definitely helped give me some confidence and help me lead others. The picture on the top right is going to be the Saturday morning inspection. We have these about twice a semester. This is like the white glove inspections that you see in movies. So we do perform those at the Air Force Academy. We also have lots of air power, like I said. You can see a CV-22 Osprey landing on the Terrazzo. We also have helicopters that land, and this is about once a month that this happens. And then almost weekly, we have flyovers of bombers, cargo jets, fighters, and then also tons of opportunities to hear from different career fields and different professionals. So on the bottom right, you will see our superintendent, General Clark. He is at the National Character and Leadership Symposium, and that's kind of like our TED Talk. Other students from other universities pay to attend that, but you actually get to attend that for free as an Academy cadet. As far as academics, here are our majors. We have 31 majors, 20 minors. Up at the top there, it says 98 semester hours of core classes. So I was a English and Fine Arts and Behavioral Science double major at the Air Force Academy, but I still took classes in chemistry, physics, aeronautical engineering, astronautical engineering, Arabic, and diversity inclusion. So even though there's all of these options, you still have a very intense core load, but we do offer a lot of majors, and so most students find something that they're interested in. If they are not, then they can speak with an instructor and get a minor put together. Some of the newest minors are air power studies, diversity inclusion studies, high performance computing, and space warfighting, and that was just based on the interest of cadets. So here's some of what we do as far as the academic side. On the bottom left there, you will see a wind tunnel, the same wind tunnels that NASA, Boeing, Lockheed has to test aircraft designs. Cadets can actually use, and so part of your capstone as an aero cadet is that you design an aircraft based on like a prototype based on different aircraft that have been designed before that. We also have tons of opportunities if you want to go to law school or medical school out of the Air Force Academy, you can do that. We have a cadaver lab with several cadavers on loan for the biology students. In the top right there, you'll see Elon Musk. He did come visit the Air Force Academy. Unfortunately, none of us got Teslas, but that's okay. And then we have opportunities for sims for remotely piloted aircraft, and then an 8-to-1 student teacher ratio. And then every cadet is an athlete. So here you will see the intercollegiate offerings, and then being recruited is a possibility. GoAirForceFalcons.com is the best resource to get in contact with the coach and send them your profile. And then if you don't compete at the intercollegiate level, you can also compete in a club sport. We have all of the intercollegiate sports as well as other sports such as men and women's ice hockey, men and women's rugby, triathlon, marathon, CrossFit, and these are still competing sports as well. So you're able to travel and compete even though you're not at the intercollegiate level. And lastly, if you're like me and you just like a little bit of fun with other squadrons, we do have squadron intramurals. And so this is the opportunity to compete against other squadrons. My squadron was really good at beach volleyball and obviously squadron 30. So we were better than squadron 31 and squadron 29, but that was just a given. So this is the opportunity to obviously maintain your physical fitness as well. And then as far as extracurriculars or doing additional research in your major, on the top left, we have the Wings of Blue. This is our nationally competing parachute team. We have a lot of opportunities for aviation, either through aviation classes, the flying team, the flying club, and you have the ability to earn hours, not only in aircraft with an engine, but also on the top right there. That is a glider. So it's basically you can become an instructor pilot on an aircraft without an engine and teach cadets how to fly. They also have cyber, RPA, and then space. So cadets design, build, and launch satellites. And again, same thing that NASA is doing, you can do as a cadet. Here are the career options. 500 of my classmates are going into pilot training, 100 are going into the Space Force, and then there's also the opportunity to go to law school, medical school, or get your master's degree, again, paid for by the Air Force. And then here is all of the different careers. On the left there, you see the longer than 5-year commitment. In the middle is the 5-year commitment with no specific degree requirement. And on the right is the specific degree requirement. For example, you need a physics degree to be a physicist, if that makes sense. So on the bottom, you will see the 5 Space Force careers. This is a new branch as of 2020. So there's only 5 at the moment, but there could be more in the future. And lastly, how do you get started? academyadmissions.com is going to be the best place for you to go. The pre-candidate questionnaire is open for seniors. Juniors, the summer seminar application opens December 1st, and then you'll see the email there, tyler.johnson@afacademy.af.edu is the admissions advisor for your region, and his cell is also right there. So overall, I just want to say thank you to teachers, parents, students that are on this call, and thank you for taking the time and opportunity to learn more about the service academies. I just graduated in June, and I will say it's an endeavor to commit to, and not every day is a great day, but in the end, it was all worth it to me. So if this is the option for you, really make yourself competitive, apply to all of the service academies. And, if you are committed to serve, obviously you want to make yourself competitive. And, the only difference between myself and somebody who graduated from West Point or Annapolis is basically the uniform that we wear, but we are all committed to service to our country. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for sharing. And I do see Jeff has a question, but like I said, we will have time at the end to go over all the questions. So if you guys, for the attendees, if you have any questions or anything while they're any of the Academy representatives are presenting, feel free to just write it in the Q&A. And when we get to that portion, we will answer all the questions that are asked pertaining the Service Academy nominations process or anything that you want to ask the representatives. So again, thank you for sharing. Next up to share is the U.S. Coast Guard Academy. So I'll pass it on over to Matthew.
Thank you, Luis. And just want to confirm, are you able to allow me to share my screen? Perfect. And can everybody see the picture right now? Luis, is that coming through?
Not yet. Give me one.
Sometimes it takes a little second.
It looks like you're sharing your screen to the Zoom call. So you might just need to switch which browser you have open.
Is that showing that now?
Not yet. If you can drag your presentation to the same screen you see my name and the Zoom call, that's where you're sharing.
Yep.
There we go. Now we can see it.
All right, perfect. So as the second lieutenant was explaining, each of us don't have any particular academy that we're trying to push you towards. We're really just trying to give you an introduction to each of the academies and ultimately make sure that you have the right fit to answer the questions that you have about each of the academies at the end of the day. The second lieutenant also explained that at the end of the day, the academics, the athletics, the leadership, that's what differentiates each of the academies from the non-academies. So from going to University of Minnesota versus going to any one of the academies, it's really looking at those three pillars of activities. So while the academics is very tough and the academic admissions requirements are very tough, it's the athletics, it's the leadership, it's really the opportunity to serve your country, as the congressman said as well. And so ultimately, I just wanted to share with you a similar kind of video, and that'll show you what's a little bit different from the Air Force is what it's like during the first day. So I'll first show you a brief overview of the Coast Guard Academy, which is out of New London, Connecticut. It's right across the way from a submarine base. And then we'll go into the day one, which is really like a boot camp. And so it's the same at each and every one of the academies. And then we'll go into what it's like for a day in the academy itself. And then finally, similar to the Air Force, what it's like during those summer activities that in this case, instead of jumping out of airplanes, it's going on boats. And let me just go ahead and hit play.
We're the United States Coast Guard Academy. We're in the top 100 undergraduate business programs, the top 10 undergraduate engineering programs, the top 25 STEM colleges, the top 15% of best colleges and universities. We're in the top 1% for community service engagement and the #1 top regional public institution, and 100% focused on our mission, graduating officers to lead the United States Coast Guard.
Now, just to give you a feel for this, this is the exact same thing that you will experience at each of the academies. So you'll actually have a report day in which you'll be able to say goodbye to the loved ones, parents, friends, whomever, and you'll literally go into a boot camp kind of scenario, and that's what you'll see next. So literally that same day that you're getting dropped off, you'll get changed into the uniform, you'll get your nice haircut, and then you'll parade around, you'll learn how to march, and then you'll do your final goodbye to the friends and family before you start your career at the particular academy. Now this next is going to be the actual life at the academy itself after that first day.
What's the day like at the academy? Get up, get ready, eat breakfast, drill, learn, 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 play, drill, study, study, eat dinner, then study, go to bed, get up, do it again. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? U.S. Coast Guard Academy. Honor, respect, devotion to duty. Apply today.
Now, this last scene is actually going into each and every summer at any of these academies. You'll have the opportunity not just to go back and work at your local store or something like that. You'll actually be going alongside active duty folks on the actual missions, whether that's flying in planes, going on boats, going in tanks, doesn't really matter. You're going to be doing something that's totally unique for that particular service academy's service. And this is the unique opportunity for the Coast Guard. Just to pause here real quick, the reason that I'm actually doing this is because my two children, oldest children, both attended the academy, and my daughter, the eldest one, had the foresight to take a picture when she was actually at the bird's nest to send it back to mom, who was not too thrilled to get this picture. And so with the sharing opportunity for these videos, it's hopefully giving you an insight into these academies. Now, what I wanted to add is also a little plug for the Merchant Marine Academy. Each of the 4 service academies for which you can get a nomination, and that's the Air Force that you just heard about. You'll hear about West Point, and you'll hear about the Naval Academy. The Merchant Marine is the 4th academy for which it's what I call the golden ticket. So working with Luis, whose picture you see, he is one that's going to help you with respect to that golden ticket, that what it's going to do is going to get you to that admission door. And that admission door is where the academy itself is then going to decide whether or not to actually admit you. So this nomination process does not get you into the academy, it gets you to the front door to that admission office. And that's the differentiation also I wanted to make for the Coast Guard Academy. We were living overseas, I'm active duty now. And while we were overseas, it wasn't very clear where we were going to go to get that nomination. And so my kids looked at the Coast Guard Academy, and that's where you can apply direct. So you bypass the nomination process for the Coast Guard Academy and apply direct. Now, ultimately, the Coast Guard, the Merchant Marines, they're the 2 smaller of the 5 academies, but at the same time, they have the same military connection. And so out of the Merchant Marine Academy, you can actually get a commission in any one of the services depending upon those service needs. As opposed to the other big 3, you have a much wider variety of opportunities. As you heard from the Air Force, going directly into that actual pilot program is something that you're not necessarily going to get out of the Coast Guard or the Merchant Marines. So there's benefits and there's definitely disadvantages to going to a smaller academy as opposed to a larger academy. But ultimately, I'll stand by for the questions at the end. And Luis, hopefully that'll get us back on track.
Yep. Thank you again. And yes, like I said, at the end, we will have a Q&A for all the representatives and the Service Academy representatives. If you guys had any questions for them, and like I said, you're more than welcome to put them in the Q&A now. And then as soon as we get to that portion of the event, we can start answering them. But yeah, I appreciate you and throwing the bone out to the Merchant Marine Academy as well. Thank you. Next up, we have the West Point Academy. And Jeff, whenever you're ready.
Okay, super. First, I'm looking at the list of all of the participants here, and thank you. We don't get an opportunity to reach out to this many students this often. So thank you to the students and parents who've decided to partake of the information we're hopefully giving out here. Let me share a screen. And I'll ask, is that coming through? Excellent, thank you. So, of course, we all have presentations that we're asked to deliver. I'm going to zip through this because I do want to show you the website that you can go to, and everything that I'm going to show you here is available on this website. So you can take your time, go watch the videos that you want to watch, go check out the topics you want to look at. So I'm going to go through this rather rapidly here. My presentation talks about what West Point offers, and you're going to see a lot of similarities to the other academies, as you've heard already. Talk a little bit about cadet life, same but different, and talk a little bit about the application process. More on that in a little bit here. Our promise, our mission, we strive to educate, train, and inspire the Corps of Cadets, all 4,000 plus, so that each graduate is a commissioned leader of character. And you'll hear that over and over again with all of the academies, is that we're looking for the folks that want to serve. Yes, they want to be a leader, but they also want to serve. Our motto that lives with us for our entire life is duty, honor, country. That drives everything we did while we were there and a lot of what we do after that. So we're looking to develop officers in the United States Army. You've heard we offer 36 majors. Again, full scholarship, tuition, room and board, medical, plus spending money, 100% employment, NC2A Division I, 29 different varsity teams. And during your junior year, you'll be offered what's called a career starter loan, a get you going. I bought a car with mine. I know folks who invested it. I know folks who put a down payment on a condo. It's yours to do with as you please at about a 1% interest rate. Cruiser, this is about a 1,500 foot view, 2,000 foot view of the campus. All of what you see, if you can see my cursor, I don't know if you can, upper left, those are dorms / barracks. Bottom center, those are academic buildings. The rounded shaped one down towards the bottom, that's the officers club. That's where my wedding reception was held. Up a little bit towards the top is the Catholic chapel. That's where I got married. You can see the Protestant chapel in the upper left. What you can't see on the screen here is the football stadium, the hockey arena, and other athletic facilities that are off the left of the screen here. So established in 1802, we are an engineering school. You will graduate with a Bachelor of Science. Some ratings on how we did according to other folks. US News thinks we do pretty well. Princeton Review thinks we do pretty well. The only folks who beat us in Rhodes Scholars and Marshall Scholars are a few of the Ivy League schools. That's it. We do pretty well. Some of the distinguished grads, Buzz Aldrin was on the first moon mission, Dwight Eisenhower, president. Some of you may have heard of Mike Krzyzewski. He graduated from the academy, coached at the academy under Bobby Knight, and then went on to do okay down at Duke. Douglas MacArthur, Alex Gorski is the CEO of Johnson & Johnson. I get a lot of, the reason I kind of want to show this screen is I get a lot of questions from students who are looking at the academies to go, okay, great, you trained us how to be officers, but what if we aren't officers forever? You know, what does the academy do for us? So I put together a list. I'll go through it very briefly, but these are my classmates and what they've done since we graduated. We've got 2 astronauts, 2 renowned spinal surgeons who travel the country teaching other spinal surgeons, one of whom was the head of spinal surgery here at the University of Minnesota, 1 president of a foreign country. He was an exchange student with us. If you've ever ordered anything off Amazon, or you've ever stored anything in the cloud, that was a classmate of mine by the name of Rick Dalzell who did that for Amazon. That was he's actually called the father of the cloud. one head of the Army Corps of Engineers, one military ambassador to Egypt, 2 deans at universities, current dean of religious studies at St. Thomas Academy here in the Twin Cities, pastor of the Protestant Church at West Point, a commandant of cadets, commander of the Pacific Theater, a hedge fund CEO. I had 2 classmates, one named Grant, one named Lee. Yes, they were both related to Ulysses S. Grant and Robert E. Lee. And other than that, judges, lawyers, dentists, and 31 generals. So can you do things after that? Yeah, there's plenty of ways to use your education in other pursuits. Typical class day, get up at 5:20-ish, go to breakfast, class and study time until about noon. Go to lunch from 4 to about 6, athletics. And that's already been talked about, whether it's varsity, club squad, or intramurals. And then after that, personal time, study, do whatever, taps, go to bed. That's a day. Here is what a typical course schedule looks like. And don't try to memorize what you take at different times during it. Just realize that you'll have military leadership type courses every year. But as time goes on, you'll be able to allocate more time towards your major or other electives. So this is basically what it looks like. You will take a course in law, military law, and constitutional law, and there's lots of engineering. And if you like engineering, we got a pretty good program, 7-to-1 student to faculty ratio, pretty typical for all of the academies. Here are the academic majors. You'll notice we don't have biology like the Air Force Academy does. If you need to take biology, it's because you went Medical Service Corps. We'll send you to med school and you'll learn biology there. So hopefully, if you're thinking about West Point, you'll see something here that kind of gets you jazzed a little bit. NC2A Division I sports, I'll let you take a quick look at those. We do rugby, we do lacrosse, we have a rifle team, hockey team. By the way, if you remember last year, University of Minnesota played Quinnipiac. The Army hockey team lost to Quinnipiac in the conference finals, 2-1. One more win, and we would have eliminated Quinnipiac from the Frozen Four. Women's sports, you see a lot of the same kinds of sports: rifle, women's rugby, cross country, basketball, etc. Club sports, boxing, climbing, crew. I did cycling and judo as club sports way back when. And then over on the right side there, you can see the different intramural sports that are available. All the way down to, or all the way over to, I should say, submission grappling. Think MMA without kicking and punching. That's what submission grappling is. 127 different cadet clubs. This is what the 4-year military experience at West Point looks like. Your first summer, as was mentioned, boot camp, cadet basic training, first 6 weeks. Second summer, cadet field training. You will be out doing the different jobs for the different occupational specialties in the Army. And then your third and fourth summers, you could be cadre for the new cadets coming in. You could be going out to be with a unit. You could go to one of the schools, the airborne school. Other things that are available, semester abroad programs, and about a dozen more countries than what you see here. Internships at the White House, congressional offices, NASA, FBI, and other 3-letter agencies, or foreign academy exchange programs. We send cadets over to other West Points, if you will, and they send folks over to us. Different branch opportunities: Adjutant General, Air Defense Artillery. Think if it flies, it dies. That's Air Defense Artillery. Armor, tanks, aviation, helicopters, cyber, engineers, field artillery. Yes, we do send folks to the Space Force. We do, our special forces are called Green Berets. Medical Service Corps, if you want to be a doctor. This was brought up before about the whole person concept. This is what the academy looks like, or should say looks at, when they're looking at your application. And if you don't have a pencil and paper handy, I'm going to show you a screen here in just a sec. I do want you to write something down. It was brought up before about nominations. Critical. Here's what you need to do. Connect with your local field force representative. And for West Point, that's me. I'm the person, I handle Congressional District 3 around the west side of the Twin Cities. So get in touch with me if you have questions or you want help with the application process. This is me. I am at jeffrey.olson.1979@gmail.com. There is my cell number if you want to text me or call me. And I'm going to take you next to this site, www.westpoint.edu/admissions. I just want to very briefly show you what that looks like. And I'm hoping this is coming through. Excellent. I love it when technology works, but this is
Today, I'm the captain of Army West Point football.
I'll let him talk.
Tomorrow, I strive to lead winning teams.
Today, I study to excel in the classroom. Tomorrow, I can reach for the stars.
Today, I am leading cadets during summer training. Tomorrow, I will be ready to lead soldiers on the battlefield.
Today, I lead with character as a brigade commander. Tomorrow, my possibilities are endless. West Point, where leaders are made.
So the woman you saw there was last year's brigade commander, very accomplished. So I just want to point this out to you. Whole sections in here, everything that I've said, or a lot of questions you might have, you can find in here. If you were to click on prospective cadets, you'll see a section here about information that you can use to go through the process of application. Information for freshmen and middle school, sophomores, juniors, seniors, how to open an application, some guides on how to do that, and some tips on how to do that too. Academic majors and minors, that screen I just showed you a little while ago, centers and institutes that are available here. These are all of the centers and institutes at West Point that are connected with various departments. Learn more. You can take a virtual tour of the academy. You can actually walk around the academy by going and clicking on this take a virtual tour. If you plan on going there, schedule a visit, sign up for the summer leaders experience. More information on that I can get to you if that's something that you want to do. It's a great, you get to job shadow a cadet. It's an amazing experience. Highly recommend anybody who's trying to go to the academy. And then, like I said, internships, semester abroad programs, et cetera, et cetera. So fast and furious, but I would highly recommend, here's something I will tell you to do. And this is not a push. I'm not trying to push you on something, but I would say go in to this site, open an application and take the applicant questionnaire. No commitment on your part, but what it will do is it will give you feedback on things that you might want to look at doing or adding to or improving, or things to consider in your application. So no commitment, but it will give you feedback. It's a great questionnaire. It's a good assessment of what you think the Academy is about and what the Academy would think about you. And so with that, Luis, I will turn this back to you.
Thank you again for sharing. I appreciate it. And last but not least, we have the Naval Academy with Brad being the presenter.
Hey, thank you. And again, I just want to thank everyone for attending. And it's really an honor to see the number of individuals who are looking to provide service to this nation as they leave their high school career. I will be speaking about the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis a little bit. I'm a retired captain in the Navy, spent 30 years in the active and reserve community and a submariner while I was on active duty. And I have two sons who relatively recently graduated, one in 2010 and one in 2016. More than happy to answer questions regarding that if any pop up. We are in Annapolis. You can see some of the activity that is going on here. And let me see if it's going to forward. There we go. We affectionately call the campus the Yard. We have a number of activities and services surrounding there because, as some of you may know, you're pretty well sequestered during your first year at all the service academies. And again, this presentation is going to be very similar. You'll hear a lot of similarities between the other services. So I'll try to go quickly through the very similar items, but show you some of the unique aspects of the Naval Academy. When I speak to candidates, I'm almost always asking and in instructing them, you should be pursuing applications at the other service academies, because if you feel strongly about serving at the Naval Academy, you know, it's a very competitive process. You might not be able to compete at the level at the Naval Academy, or you could say the same at West Point or at Air Force, but another service academy might see something unique in your background, in your whole person profile that says, hey, that's going to be a good opportunity for me. So don't just put all your eggs in one basket with the service academies. Anyway, you can see some of the yard here. I'm not going to go into each of the buildings, but very similar to what you had seen at the other service academies. The unique aspect for us, though, is we sit where the Chesapeake Bay meets the Severn River. And you can see a little bit of the water activity, but probably very similar to Coast Guard. We spend a lot of time working on sailing instruction and giving people the opportunity, which was new for me when I went to the Naval Academy, to learn how to sail. And I've been sailing ever since. Some of the basic eligibility, I know this was taken pretty quickly, but it is very specific, and it's a ground rule. So there really isn't any negotiation or waivers associated with those. We have 26 available majors, and some of these majors, there's some areas of specialty. You can see that on that first one, aerospace engineering, where you can also major in some other activities. Ocean engineering has 4 different types of specialties that you can also get into. We are required congressionally to put 65% of our midshipmen graduating in STEM courses. So we're very focused on STEM, as your Jeff mentioned. They're an engineering school. We're an engineering school. Even if you graduate with the humanities or social sciences degree, it will be a BS. Because you will still take electrical engineering, you will still take STEAM and fundamentals, we call it STEAM, but you'll take a fluid dynamics, even though you're studying humanities, because the Navy is a technical service. Let's see, is this going to move forward? Yep, there we go. One of the unique aspects, again, with all the service academies, is the small class size. You will be challenged wherever you go with your time management and having an academic faculty that will spend the time and try to make sure that you are learning the programs that are necessary to succeed there, is unique, I believe, to the service academies. We also have our share of varsity sports. One of our first varsity sport that actually moved up from club level to varsity is rugby, and we were national champions just last year. So that was very exciting. You can pretty much follow any sport anywhere on the internet, and we could see it on the Rugby Network. But many of the major sports are televised, and you can see Navy playing, and certainly you can see Navy playing Army in December. Enough said on that. Okay, club sports. We've got a great club sports program. All the Academy alumni I know from Minnesota are pushing very strongly that ice hockey becomes a varsity sport. Right now it's at a club sport, and they do tour with others, but you can see some of the other club sports that are around. And then for those that are not able to achieve either in a club sport or varsity sport activity and level, there's also intramurals. The intramurals are mandatory. We expect all midshipmen to be very strongly competitive in athletics, and it's all part of the fitness aspect that's out there. Our extracurricular activities bring a lot of attention to the Naval Academy. We have the Glee Club is coming on November 11th and 12th, and singing with the Minnesota Orchestra. And so if you haven't got your tickets yet, please do so. But if you have musical background, cultural interests, and service-related interests, we have a ton of information activities for you there. We have even another slide associated with this. I was speaking to a candidate just the other day, very interested in aviation, and we graduate about a third of the class into aviation activities based on last class, and they were very interested in the flying club activity. So You can see here all the number of extracurricular activities. As mentioned before, full scholarships, I'll keep moving through there. You are expected to serve in either the Navy or the Marine Corps upon graduation. About 25% of the class graduates and chooses the Marine Corps. And the Marine Corps has both ground opportunities and infantry, tanks, amphibious assault vehicles, as well as aviation opportunities. As I mentioned before, the STEM and science program is very important, and again, all the service academies and the alumni associations, as we get together, talk about how do we promote leadership and how do we promote the STEM activities in the Twin Cities. And one of those is funding a STEM program, and you can see there are programs for rising 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. So if we have primarily seniors on the call, if you have siblings, younger siblings that are interested in seeing what the Naval Academy is like and understanding and getting greater strength in STEM programs, please do that. If we have younger folks on the call, again, please consider the STEM programs. The applications are available online starting in January. They tend to close March 31st. Same with summer seminar. A couple of the presentations discuss summer seminar. The Naval Academy Summer Seminar is also available in June through July. It's for, the application is for juniors, and they go between the summer between their junior and senior year. So you'll be able to take a look and get a little bit more intentional focus on what it's like being a midshipman at the Naval Academy. You can see a lot of physical fitness, a lot of challenging experiences. We do have a prep school that's available if you're competitive in all aspects, but maybe a little light in academics. We might end up offering you a preparatory school opportunity, and that's automatically looked at when you apply for the Naval Academy. So you don't have to have a separate application for the prep schools. Our fitness assessment, I don't know if we spoke a lot about the candidate fitness assessment, but it can be administered by a number of individuals, typically PE teachers and team coaches. It's the same candidate fitness assessment throughout all the service academies. And maybe I'll let Jeff talk about this in the answer, but West Point does require a couple of the steps to be videotaped. So if you're going to apply and use the candidate fitness assessment for a number of the service academies, just make sure that you're meeting the requirements for all the service academies so that you don't have to take it multiple times. Nominations, that's what this call is about. We'll have more details on nominations as we go further. And then, you know, how do you know if you're going to be a good candidate? What do we advise younger students? And primarily being strong in math and sciences. The Naval Academy does not have a minimum GPA, but if you're going to be competitive, you're going to be just like you hear at the other service academies, top 20%. Take your SATs and ACTs early and often. We super score those scores, so the highest scores you take at any one test will be qualified. And then the well-roundedness is really generally what separates the individuals that have equal academic backgrounds, is how involved are they with extracurricular activities, supporting in the community, in those areas. So top reasons to go Navy, you can see that, and this is really more about the difference between a service academy versus maybe civilian. One of the areas that I like to just communicate to candidates when they're looking at all the various service academies, the Navy, I believe, is unique in the number of and types of service options that you can graduate with. And then usna.edu is the place to go find all this information and start the application process and to apply for summer seminar or STEM programs. And with that, I'll stop sharing. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. And I know, like I said, I know there's questions coming up. And we will go over that after this. I'm going to go over just kind of the nomination process in our office and how the kind of the plan and the timeframe that it's going to look like. And then after that, I will read off all the questions, even the ones that are already answered in the Q&A, just in case anyone else in the attendees had the same question, they know the answer that was given. So that being said, again, like I said, my name is Luis. I'm the one that will be receiving all the applications for the congressman. And like I said, I will go over a little bit of what's how it is. Like I said, the nomination process is a formal process through our office where high school candidates can apply through our website. And I will share that with you guys after as well. And then you would interview in the fall and receive an official nomination from the congressman once the application and the interview process. Receiving a nomination is competitive process in which we follow specific guidelines from each academy and select the best candidates. The interview process will be done no later than December 15. And the interview panel includes academy alumni and staff from the academies. Nominations are competitive. Each academy allocates 1 cadet slot per class year. We can nominate up to 10 candidates for each cadet slot. The 3rd district is one of the most competitive districts. Last year, we had 25 applicants, and we were able to give 24 student nominations. This year, we will have a spot the academies. So we have them to nominate most of the applicants that are going to be, well, they're going to be, what do you call it? Sorry, that are good candidates to nominate. We began accepting applications August 1st. Our deadline for completing them will be November 1st. And I always try to remind the students that are submitting these applications. Sometimes it gets close to the November 1st, and I right now I have a handful already, but I know that some of the students want to wait till the last minute, but I want to make sure that you guys are aware that the November 1st deadline is a cutoff deadline. So, and I know some students try to reach out and we can work with, I haven't been able to get my transcripts and stuff, but just submit your application as soon as possible before that deadline, because once it's November 1st passes, it is going to be hard for us to accept any applications because we want to assure that we are getting the best candidates, but also everyone is allotted the same amount of time. So we want to make it fair across all applicants. So just make sure that if you have not started your application, to make sure to get that started. Afterwards, we will make our final selections, and you guys will, whoever gets nominated will be, we'll know late January, mid-February, and then and all offers and appointments are sent out by May. And then, like I said, here, I'm going to share my screen real quick so you guys can see our website and where to find this. So give me 1 second. Here's our website. All you do is scroll down and you can download the application here. And if you keep scrolling down, it kind of gives you all the information, how to apply, and then it tells you everything that you need. And then tells you where to email it, and then you will email it to our office, and then, like I said, I will receive it. And so yeah, I will provide this link and information at the Q&A question box. And then also I will show you guys the actual application. And I know like I said, some of you guys have already started it. So good on you for that. Sent it out already. Let me share the application itself. And if for any reasons you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to our office. Just ask for me. You guys, everyone that is in that RSVP should already have my contact information because I send out the emails. Feel free to call me or email me or call our office and ask any questions you may have on this application. I know we have a lot of parents reaching out, and we do like to let the parents know this is something that the students or prospects should do this on their own. I know we have parents come to our office and try to ask us, hey, is there anything that will put my kid ahead? Is there anything we can do? And we just try to explain to them that we keep our nomination process honest. So every student that applies gets the same look anyone else does. It does not matter, what extra stuff that they want to do. Everything gets looked at the same. Everyone has the same opportunities and chances. So, like I said, we don't. We have parents reach out, or even students trying to ask our staff or the congressman, like, hey, is there anything else we can do? Like I said, your best thing to do is, like I said, reach out to the contacts that our representatives have given you guys, the advisors. And like I said, reach out to me if you guys have any questions on how to fill out the forms, or if you're not receiving something and you're thinking our office is, if you need information from us, then we are more than happy to, provide that or guide you through that. But I won't be able to tell you like the answers to the test, like, oh, if you have a higher score or anything like that. Like I said, we have the alumni do the interview, and they recommend us, and then we sit down with the congressman, we go through everything, and then the congressman makes the final decision.